What up, everybody? This is Amber Stoneman with Nashville Unsigned, hanging out with my sister, the one artist I've seen grow from a seed to a flower to a butterfly, Charlotte Sands.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? We're here together saying things at the same time.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And you've just been, quite literally all over the world. And I think the number one question is like, you have so much going on right now. How do you balance all of it as it's all coming in? How do you make time for mental health and family? And family's a big thing.
Yeah.
Shout out sister in the back. But family's a big thing, and then life and art. How do you balance it?
It's a great question, and I feel like I don't. I mean, honestly, it would be a lie if I said that I've like figured that out. Yeah. That is something that every single day I wake up and I'm like, how am I going to do all of these things in one day? And how am I going to be a good friend and be a good sister? And how am I going to be a boss but also be like nice and be kind and be respectful and all these things? I think
that's hard to balance.
It is a hard thing to be a lot of things, and everyone experiences that, I think, in different ways throughout their own lives. But that's something I haven't perfected, but I am working on it every day. I think the most important thing is I try to really be specific, and this is very recent, that I try to be really specific with at least time for myself scheduled in, even if it's like an hour in the morning, or like call my mom, or like I have notifications to like text certain people or to call certain people, because when you're touring, it's not like reality, it's not like a real life, so it's like those things can get lost really quickly. And so reminding yourselves to do those even when your life is kind of crazy, it grounds you and make sure you're up to date on all your responsibilities.
And nobody falls to the wayside. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't think it's a destination. It's like a journey. It's just a journey.
We're on that journey. Yeah, it's 100 miles per hour every day, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, all gas, medium brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hope the brakes don't go out.
Lines were cut a long time ago.
So you've just done so much, and I know that you're constantly thinking about like, how can I elevate? How can I elevate? As an artist, you're always like, how can I elevate? But today, like, how do we celebrate like what you're most proud of today that you've accomplished along the way?
So hard. I sound like such a hypocrite because I do a weekly mental health check-in on my Discord, and I always make people answer the question, like what is your favorite thing about yourself, and what are you most proud of, or what is like a goal of yours? And we like kind of talk about all these things. And I feel like for me to ask people that and me sit here and be like, oh, I don't know. I think I would say I'm most proud of, what we were just talking about. I think trying to handle everything at one time and represent myself 24 hours a day as the best I possibly can represent myself in like a professional way, but also in a friendly way, and also in a responsible for a lot of things way, and all these things. I think I am proud of being able to handle a lot of things under the amount of pressure and time limitations I have on a lot of things. And so that would be what I'm most proud of right now. Figuring it out.
I can attest to this. I've watched it along the way, and honestly, most artists crumble under pressure, and it is a lot of pressure. You've got a lot of people's livelihoods underneath you, and a lot of people don't understand the business side of music. And so you're running a business, and then these are also people that you love and that you trust, and so it's like balancing all of those things.
The professional friendship balance is it's so interesting, because it's like every single person that I work with on a daily basis is somebody that I'm close to. And so I think and most of the music industry is it's a very social industry. It's like very much tied into like friendship and community and collaborating and all these things. So that is in itself is like the psychology of the music industry, and like the professional and friendship relationships and personal relationships between people is so interesting to me. But I also get so lucky that I go to work every single day with people that I chose to work next to. I don't think there's a lot of jobs that people get to do that. Like, and there's not a lot of places where I'd get to like know every single time I get in a van or on a bandwagon or on a bus or a plane with my team. It's all people that I have chosen to be around. They're all like incredible, talented, positive, wonderful people, and that is a blessing. So
not to completely shy away from like what you chose your people. And I think that's the difference, is you just went through and chose everybody, and you built a phenomenal team, and which is a result of what's happening now.
I think that it starts when I knew you, obviously, and we like worked so much together, like years ago. I've known you for so long, but I think when I started building my team, I was really intentional about being around people that were supportive, that were excited, that even when I had crazy ideas that everyone else was like would laugh at, they would be like, "Let's do it." And the same exact thing. The people you surround yourself, it's an exact reflection of like who you are and like the energy you're gonna have and the emotions you're gonna feel, and especially when you're spending 24 hours a day on tour with these people. So I think when you start surrounding yourself, even if it's one person at a time, with those types of people, then they start surrounding themselves with good people are around good people. So then you all of a sudden look out and you're like, oh, I have an entire network of people that are incredibly like talented with a ton of experience, that are supportive and celebrate each other. And but you have to just kind of start one by one, like being really intentional about those relationships. And then now I just feel like I'm so lucky.
Brick by brick, now you got a house. I got a mansion. Tell us, so we talked about the Discord of talking about mental health consistently every week. So what was the catalyst that happened that was just like, hold on, I got to check in with my fans.
Yeah.
Like, I guess some of the artists that are doing that are talking about mental health often is like Grandson, and things like that.
That's
and
incredible.
I can see you cultivating a fan base in that same manner where like you could take on any genre and your fan base would run with you.
Yeah. I think honestly, like that's always been my motivation, is like the community aspect. And I think that's something that I and a lot of people can relate to, is talking about mental health and like your struggles and the ups and downs and just like experiencing life together. Especially like the last few years have been really weird for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't have places or people to go to talk about these things. I think I was very fortunate in the way that I grew up, and my family was extremely open about like how they felt and emotions, and I never felt nervous to come out as a certain person or about how to express myself with certain people. And so I think I'm very grateful for that, and I was very fortunate. But I still, even having those relationships with my family and my friends, I still felt like there were times where I didn't have anyone to go to, or feel like if I talked about therapy or talked about these certain things, that like people wouldn't just like laugh at me or like be like, you're crazy if you need to go to therapy, and like all these weird stigmas. And so I felt that way. And so I think music was kind of what I turned to be able to have those conversations without like actually having those conversations. And then once I wrote those songs, I realized that a lot more people than I thought were experiencing the same things as me. And then we became kind of like all became friends and all had these things in common. And then people started meeting each other at my shows because they all had these things in common and knew if you're at this show, then you probably feel this way too. And I watched that community happen and those friendships happen. And I was like, oh, this is what makes me happy. This is why I want to do it. And so ever since then, I've just been like, that is my motivation, is just be able to create these communities and like have these people around each other and support each other, so that when I can't, like, no one can be there for everybody, but I want people to at least have a space where they know that there's always at least somebody there, and somebody will listen to them, and somebody who will support them and give them advice, and that they can talk about these things and get their emotions and feelings validated. And like, if I'm not, just because I can't check my Instagram or DM every single person doesn't mean that like now, because of the people who are in my messages who have created this space, that they can go places and find other people that feel that way.
I think when you can have a community that's, in your absence, that they're loving and supporting each other, like,
oh god, it's like, and there's like friend groups and like group messages that I'm in, and Snapchat messages and groups that I'm in with like all these people that I've met through these shows, which like, that's just never something I thought would happen. Like people making friends from my like, that's the craziest thing, because now this is years and years of friendships now, and I get to like be a part of them and watch them graduate together and watch them go to my shows together, go to other shows. It is genuinely, there's nothing more exciting and like more beneficial and to my life than being able to like witness those things happen, and like witness people like finding people that they trust and like feel like loved by.
Life purpose kind of shit.
Yeah. And so it's like everything else feels very small in comparison to like that meaning and that part of my life.
I love that. So if you guys are not following Charlotte, like, the Discord is great. What's happening in that Discord is pretty revolutionary. You had some merch that was supporting mental health recently.
Yeah, we partnered with the Jed Foundation, and we're donating proceeds from a sweatshirt for All Right to the Jed Foundation, and they're incredible and pour a lot of money into teenagers and young adults that are struggling with their mental health, and advocate for a lot of people, and as well like have a lot of resources for people. And so we have all those resources in my Discord as well. And I mean, I just get lucky. I get to work with people that do that as a full-time job and just be like a small part of that, which is really cool. Very, very cool.
What is life?
Yeah.
The next thing is you've done just so much, like off the charts, so much in a small amount of time. So what are you hoping to do this year that you haven't done so far?
That is like one of those questions where I know myself and my automatic reaction is like headline a stadium, but I know that's like factually not probably gonna happen this year. But I would say I waited a really long time to release like a project of music, and I've been very the single thing is the single game of releasing a lot of content for people and a lot of visuals and a lot of music videos and keeping people interested has kind of been the tactic for a lot of artists and independent. I'm an independent artist, so that is like massively like our motivation and our marketing strategy. And I'm at the point where I have a lot of music I love, and I don't really want to just like kill other songs because there's not enough space for them. And so I'm kind of at the point where I think I want to release larger projects of music and be able to give these songs at least like room to breathe in the real world instead of just like dying on my phone. So I would love to do that.
So much music that people don't even know.
It is
this
so
girl
much.
writes like she breathes.
Yeah, it is so much, and they all feel like every song is like a child, and I feel like some of them are like don't get any attention, and then other ones are like going off to college. And every single parent out there is like, you have no idea what it's like to be a parent. Like that is actually not accurate.
This is pretty. I'm a parent. This is pretty close.
It's a pretty accurate representation. But no, I would love to be able to put more music out and be less. I want to be always intentional about the art I'm making and the music I'm releasing, but I want to be less like critical of it and just let it live. And if it flies, it flies. If it dies, it dies. And that is
that's a lyric in itself.
You guys, that song's gonna be coming out with a fly or die, and you guys will be like, here it goes.
Yes, an exclusive.
Yeah,
on exclusive.
You're a co-writer. You get 50% of the pub.
I mean, I want to collect it. So last but certainly not least, we chatted a little bit about releasing new music. So what's in the pipeline?
This is so funny because I was saying this before. I completely forgot that this was happening because we've been so busy the last few weeks. And we leave literally in 2 days for Europe and the UK for festivals and another tour and all of that, which I'm very excited about. But I am releasing one of my favorite things I've ever done in like 3 days. I'm like, what is it? It's on Wednesday. Yes. I'm releasing an EP of different versions of my song All Right, which is basically the song that I partnered with the Jed Foundation, and we're doing multiple versions of that song because it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and the message to me is really important about having hope and having a light at the end of the tunnel, and it resonated with so many more people than I ever thought it would, and it's my favorite song to play live. And so we decided to, like, instead of just having this one version of it and this one way of listening to it, that we were going to create more so that people who like different genres of music would relate to it and be able to listen to it, and and it can just live in all these different lives and go
in its own little, all these kids just
shipping them off to college,
different countries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're abroad. I'm so proud of them. But I'm very excited. That's gonna come out Wednesday, and it feels like a very important chapter and like a lot of things I'm really excited about.
Oh, I love this so much, ladies and gentlemen. Charlotte motherfreaking Sands. I would say the other word, but listen, it's gonna go on YouTube. I'm gonna get shadow banned.
So I was like, we both swear the same mouth.
We're gonna go there. Guys, follow her on socials. Make sure you're up to par with everything that's going on. And then, she's got new stuff coming out next week, and the Discord channel. This is a place for, even myself, I need to join. I need an outlet. I get it.
We all
Sweet. Thank you so much, Charlotte. We love you so much. We are out of here. Bye.